Opportunity beckons for Argentina to go up against one of the giants in the women's game over the years, and players shake hands, coaches shake hands, and we are about ready to rumble here in Istanbul, one of the true heartlands of basketball. International basketball hosted so many great tournaments here over the years. And we will introduce you as well to the referees. Peter Pezic from Serbia, the crew chief, Orlando Jose Barrera Diaz from Honduras, and Gao Yiji from China. And we'll also look at starting fives and rosters for both of these teams. So Australia, Sandy Brondello has got Steph Talbot, Alana Smith, Ezzy Magbegor, Sammy Whitcomb, and Alex Wilson, or Allie Wilson, in the starting five, with Jade Melbourne, Reed, Kayla George, Borlase, Iokosu, Fowler, and Bibby coming off the bench.
This is a nice team for head coach Sandy Brondello. Obviously, Sandy, multiple medals. As a player, as a coach, you know, she's going to go down in basketball history whenever she does decide to retire. But I like that starting five. I think, you know, putting Allie Wilson in the starting five, played limited minutes, but was on that team who won in 2025. Give her an opportunity, see what she can do.
Augusto Borani, Melissa Greter, veterans, along with Florencia Chagas, Macarena Diurso, and Vitoria Guana in the starting five for Argentina, with Siciliano, Martinez, Raviolo, Cabrera, Mongo, all coming off the bench. And Gregorio Martinez, the head coach. How do you combat if you are Manzano? I guess really it's try to do something that Australia usually do so well, and that's put defensive pressure on the opponent. Maybe try to get some turnovers, some easy buckets.
You know, I wouldn't be, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Argentina's looking to the future a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of zone coming out of them, maybe to start the game as well, and say, you know what, shoot from outside. Let's see if that kind of throws you off a little bit. There's always going to be first game jitters.
First game jitters indeed. We were looking at some of the size in this Australia team, and we both remarked how imposing Zatina Iokuso looks when you stand next to her, and she can obviously get up as well. I mean, she can go up and dunk the basketball, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that in this tournament. But there's a lot of quality coming off the bench for Australia.
A lot of quality coming off the bench of Australia. I really like this team that Coach Brondello and her staff has put together. But let's give a shout out also to Argentina. I mean, you know, we talk about the experience that Australia has. Look at Kayla George. I mean, I asked her before the game, how many caps do you have? And she's like, I don't even know. That's how long she has been playing. But we can't forget about Melissa Greter and Agostina Burani. I mean, these are two players who have an incredible amount of experience playing for their country, playing professionally over majority of their career over in Spain. So, yeah, we have a lot to talk about with Australia, but Argentina have a couple players with just as much experience as those experienced Australians.
Well, Melissa Greter certainly is a crowd pleaser and somebody that's going to come out and really give her all for Argentina, as is Barani, a real fighter, you mentioned, and Guana will get out as well and really get after you. So it's the Opals going up against Argentina here in the opening game of this FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament here in Istanbul. Well, hello, everybody. We're underway in Istanbul, the opening game of this World Cup qualifying tournament. And it's Australia winning the opening tip, the green and gold, attacking the basket to the left on your screen. And Alana Smith runs into a little bit of trouble there with Barani, excuse me, providing a wall. Here, Argentina passing it around, looking for a good shot. Gretter gets down to the baseline. And from the free throw line, McBagger gets her first block of the game. Chagas looked like she was in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I think she thought she was in a pretty good spot as well. And Ezzy really, I mean, those are the long arms and long reach. You think you're open, but not if Ezzy is on the court.
And Smith loses it, slips over. Played for Australia 3x3 at the Olympics. With Wilson, here is the three-pointer, and Hagas comes right back and strikes from downtown. Steph Talbot gets it down low and banks it in.
Yeah, and this is where I think, you know, as the game goes on, I know it's still early, but you see a height difference. And Steph Talbot, I mean, really, how do you defend her when she's playing the guard position and you're giving up how many inches?
Sagas missing it, but the long rebound to Gretter. Oh, she's got her teammate wide open, and Guana, and somehow gets it to go. It looked like she kind of hesitated. Victoria Guana puts Argentina back up 5-2. Smith missing that one. And a three-point shot. Well, from Allie.
I like it. You know, Allie Wilson, maybe a little bit more well-known for her 3x3 with the Australians. Obviously was there during the Paris Olympics, but she's coming off a very, very good season with Townsville.
And an offensive foul on Victoria Juana, moving screen.
She was in the finals. She lost to Townsville. She was on that team in 2025, but played very limited minutes for them.
Anna Smith inbounds it to Sammy Whitcomb. What an incredible story she is. Here she is launching it from deep. And, well, the box out was there, but not good enough to keep Steph away from it. Now McBagger gets it, and another chance for Talbot, and rattles out. Barani with the rebound. Oh, Barani setting a hard pick. Better doesn't take it. Chagas from deep, she's got it! Well, anytime you got a three-point shooter, she looks comfortable anywhere on the court right now.
Well, I think Steph Talbot, who's guarding Chagas, looked over to the bench and the coaching staff and said, I don't think this was on the scouting report, so I need to change up my defense a little bit and maybe force her to drive.
Good hands. Knocking the ball out of Magbagor's hands. Here's Ezzy catching it. Alwa's got to get it up. Does she know they got to launch it? They do get it up just in time, and that was short from Talbot. It goes out of bounds. And Argentina, so far so good.
Well, I think they've come out. They played aggressively, defensively. Both teams look a little winded the first couple of minutes of this game. And let's not forget, I mean, okay, I know we're in Istanbul, but both teams, players, staff, they've had to travel a long way, minus maybe Sammy Whitcomb, who plays professionally this season in Besiktas, so she's already in Istanbul.
Barani missing the long jumper. Australia running. Oh, and Alana Smith with the charge. Well, Gretter taking one for the team.
know, I said Australia has such a height advantage, but it's difficult also if you're playing against shorter players. They're sort of out of your eye level, and maybe that's what happened to Smith on that last action, is Greta just does a good job setting her feet outside that semicircle.
So Flor Martinez has just checked into the game for Macarena. Also turn, and the shot doesn't drop for Chagas. Here's Sammy. Sammy knocks it down, and a foul as well. Goodness me, this could be a big trip down the floor for Australia.
It's going to be a rebounding foul. Can't really see it on our screen, but it's on the box side there. Oh no, I'm going to watch the ball, but...
Flor Martinez checks into the game and commits that foul.
This is how Argentina plays. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to, and we've seen that early. They've forced Australia into some turnovers. They've forced Australia to look uncomfortable a little bit on some of their offensive actions. They're going to take risks, and it's kind of setting the tone that you talked about before the game. They have to set the tone if they want to give themselves a chance.
Jade Melbourne's pass deflected and intercepted, or Australia come up with the basketball. And now Jade Melbourne with the reach and the foul. So
not a good
start for Jade Melbourne.
On the court. Jade Melbourne obviously coming off that Olympic team. Imagine being 20 years old and winning an Olympic medal for your country.
And the reach and the foul. So Lana Smith has to come out. That's her second. He's barking away over there.
Stepping on the court for Team Australia, number 15.
Kayla George, the veteran, checks into the game. We'll try to calm things down. Nice action from Argentina. Greta thought about it. Three-point shot, no good. Megbagor, excuse me, comes down with the rebound. Talbot, skip pass, back to Melbourne. She drives in, goes with the left hand, misses, and Barani is fouled by Ezi Magbagor.
I like this. I mean, I think unselfish basketball from Australia on the offensive end, but maybe a little bit too unselfish. But you also have to give credit where it's due, and that's to the defense of this Argentinian team. They're scrappy. They move when the ball gets passed. They're there on the catch, and I think it's really taking Australia out of their offense a little bit. And, you know, can they do this for 40 minutes is the question now.
Well, we've already seen Barani huffing and puffing, and we're halfway through the first quarter. Here she is. She's got it. Gets it back. Oh, almost a travel. And Barani scores. Yeah, good footwork.
Good footwork, single coverage. Kayla George has a little bit of a height difference, but does a great job using her pivot foot.
Magbagor, and this time a blocking foul has been called.
That's a tough one against Barani. Oh, yeah. Kind of leaned at the end, right? Anticipating the contact a little bit. So, you know, I think her checking out of the game. Well, we're already in bonus for both teams with 4:30 left. Might be a long first quarter. As Argentina, you expect them to foul because it's a way that they play defensively. They're going to take risks. Australia, on the other hand, a couple quick early fouls, especially in the backcourt, which were unnecessary in my opinion.
Magbagor makes the 2 free throws and ties the game. Oh. Martinez almost turning it over there, lost control of the bounce. Here's Greta. Up and into game number 7. She's got it. She puts it up. Diana Cabrera.
action, but I have to give, you're talking about the scorer. How about Gretter just getting her teammate open, finding her on the short roll, and then a nice finish.
Talbot open from the wing. And good job, Kayla George knocking it out, but then Argentina get on top of it, and a pushing foul called on Cabrera. So it'll stay at this end. Watch this. Oh, wow. A little bit of a tough call, I think, going against Argentina that time. And also it puts Magbagor on the line.
Oh, Magbagor going back to the free throw line. Our only points from the game have been from the line. And like you said, tough call. I just think the referee maybe had a different angle than what we saw on the TV.
Well, one thing we've learned from Magbagor, she can make some free throws. She's perfect so far. Quick pass up to Gretter. Get down the court quickly. Australia hustle back. Stephanie Reed's checked into the game, and Gretter gets it up. Misses. Magbagor doesn't corral it. Guarded closely by Borlase. Oh, reach, and they pass it around. They get the shot up just in the nick of time to try to go off the glass. Now it's Kayla George directing traffic, gets it down low to Ezzy. And she makes a nice pass to Jade Melbourne. Australia move in front. Each team, you can see, with 4 assists already. Martinez, oh, loses the dribble. Off her foot, goes out of bounds.
Looked at the referee and says, I think she was expecting a foul, but maybe Melbourne got her hands in the action, but she was also moving her feet.
Tina Ayakuso has checked into the game, so
you want to see her dunk.
Well, this will be one of the moments of truth for this Argentina team. Foul called away from the ball there, push. So 2 free throws for Jade Melbourne. Calling it tight.
But that's what you kind of want to see from the referees on game day 1, because then you know how the how the tournament is going to be. Right. Assuming next game is called somewhere in the game after today, and then players should always be able to adjust to how the referees are calling the game.
The free throws good. Australia doing a good job at the line. And another whistle.
It's going against Reed.
And definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yep, holding good spot. Not allowing Macarena Durso to get free. So Macarena. Hey, Macarena at the line.
Yeah, I think Argentina came out first possession defensively. They were very aggressive and, sort of put Australia a little bit heels. They were on their heels offensively, and then Australia has picked up their intensity as this first quarter has moved on. And I think the referees have done a good job. It's just the players haven't really adjusted to how the game's being called. And, sort of a little bit of retaliation maybe Australia are doing instead of just playing straight up good aggressive defense.
Borlase open, looks good, is good. And again, we talked about the firepower coming off the bench for Australia, and it's evident here Plenty of bodies for the Opals. Here's a pass from the wing. And good. Keeping it alive, and Reed whistled for grab.
That's going to be her second. I mean, you know, let's see here. I love the hustle. It was a great hustle attempt by Siciliano. And then you don't box out, don't really see where your player is. The ball was still live, and now Stephanie Reed having to go to the bench, you know, made her mark last summer, 2025 Asia Cup All-Star 5, first time ever representing Australia.
So Siciliano at the line makes the first. Amakin Siciliano takes her time and gets both to go. So just that little bit of extra effort gets Argentina 2 more points. It's coming a premium right now. Mongo also in the game, number 9 for Argentina. In the lane right now. Now the pass to Kayla George. Here's Zanetta, drives in, and she is fouled by Cabrera. So Zatina Ayacuso will go to the line.
Zatina Ayacuso at the line to shoot 2.
At the free throw line, palming the ball before she goes into her shot. So, you know, no wonder she can dunk the ball. She can easily palm it.
Oh my gosh. Only makes 1 of 2 though. Cabrera has to get rid of it. Argentina looking at options. They take the 3, they make the 3! Julieta Mongo joins the party. It's back to a 2-point game. Nice pick, nice screen rather. Now Melbourne in the lane, back outside it goes. Borlase, hey, she is pure. Goodness me.
Isabel Borlase coming off one of her best seasons in the WNBL this year. And it wasn't just, you know, she had a good game every now and then, every night, averaging in the high teens.
Well, another opportunity, and the answer is there from Mungo. Teams trading blows here in this half. Borlase gets open again. That was a big mistake by Argentina to leave her that wide open, but they don't get the rebound. Living dangerously the way she started in this game. Oh, lost the handle, gets it back. 3-point shot! Well, she's as hot as a firecracker. That's her 3rd 3 of the game. Still in the first quarter.
Just checked into the game as well. Hasn't played that many minutes and already 9 points for Borlase.
3-point shot. Doesn't go. Australia have to go quickly. Kayla George hands it off to Borlase. And I would not have been surprised if that had gone in. And injecting some quality on the perimeter, Borlase firing Australia into a 26-21 lead over Argentina at the end of 1.
If you're Argentina and you're a basketball fan watching the game right now, you're excited about the position Argentina's in. They're the shooting percentages, doing both teams shooting the ball well from 3-point range. You know, what separates the difference right now is the free throw shooting. 7 points from the line already for Australia. And I kind of question, would Argentina start to look ahead in this tournament? And then as the first quarter is going on, absolutely not. They want to win this game if they can. The way that they've come out and played in the first quarter has to give them confidence moving on in the moving on in this game. The other thing is, which, you know, we haven't even talked about, we know that all 6 teams here are going to play each other. And you have to finish top 3 plus Australia to book your ticket to Berlin in September for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Points for and against, this is called the group of death for a reason. So points for and against on game day 5 could play a really, really big part into which teams qualify. And I think, you know, obviously Argentina, everyone knows that you don't want to lose by a lot any game.
Definitely not. And of course, if you get tiebreaker situations and you're tied with 2 other teams, it's the goal differential in those battles.
Exactly.
But also, if you're Argentina, you need to come in here with an attitude. You got to come out and say, "Hey, listen, we're here to get to the World Cup. Don't dismiss us."
Yeah. I think game day 1 is the opportunity and the chance to pull off an upset. And beating the second-ranked team in the world would be a big, big-time upset.
Yeah, you look at the rankings as we see the highlights from the first quarter. Australia second, and we have to go all the way down to 27 to find Argentina. Well, scan in the QR code for courtside 1891 to get that app, or log in via the web to watch live streams and extended highlights of FIBA competitions.
Well, we saw a lot of free throw shooting in that first quarter, and I'm wondering if the players are going to be able to adjust in the second quarter. I mean, 2 Australians already have 2 fouls apiece, Alana Smith and Stephanie Reed. You know, you have 8 players with 1 foul for Argentina. You can't get about that many free throws and expect to win a game either.
And the reality is, when you play Australia, they wear you down over the course of the game. So
well, they're going to play 12 deep.
Yeah. Well, here's Argentina, though. They've done well so far. D'Urso driving in, doesn't get it to go. And chasing it down was Fowler, who's checked into the game. Alex Fowler, played college basketball at Portland. Here she is, launching it from up high. Nice stroke. And boy, the three-point shooting, the 6th three-pointer already for the Opals.
Yeah, I love that. Fowler getting a start, scored her first offensive possession. And again, I mean, Fowler, what a great story, and we'll talk as the tournament goes on, but 2025 Asia Cup MVP, folks.
D'Urso gets it up. Alana Smith back in the game. A little bit better movement from Australia. Wilson missing it from deep. Good box out try for Cabrera, and Argentina get to the basketball. Cabrera hands it off. Now she gets it back. Oh, look at that pass to the corner. Are you kidding? And a foul on Melbourne, but who saw that pass coming?
I don't know if that is just some crazy connection, but it was a perfect pass. Our teammate was absolutely there. Not sure it was on purpose, but doesn't matter because Melbourne's going to the bench with 2 personal fouls, so that's now 3 Australians with 2 fouls apiece, and 3 free throws coming up for Argentina.
Gregorio Martinez, a lot to be encouraged about. Again, scanning the QR code to get courtside 1891, folks.
No podemos venir boludeando acá con un tiro de 3 puntos, 2 jugadoras para acá, después se van las 2 con la que está en el fondo, ninguna llega al fondo, y dejamos una jugadora para tirar un tiro de 3 puntos. Venimos corriendo, hablamos, nos quedamos acá, y vos, que estás con esta, con la bola acá, andá vos con esta, y cambiala. No podemos dar un tiro de 3 puntos con nuestros pies del piso. Y escuchá, Adriana, va a pasar esto, va a tocar la pelota, no la va a agarrar. No se vayan las demás, vengan igual al rebote acá. Hasta que no tenemos la pelota no nos vamos. Hasta que no tenemos la pelota no nos vamos. Saca, Ama. Viene Mungo. Soporta, escuchá. Viene Mungo mano en mano. D'Urso. Perdón, ¿me Chagas? ¿La tocás? Sí. A Diana, para que venga, ¿sí? Perdón. Mungo la saca a Costo y le da mano en mano.
Well, Jeff, you've been working on your Spanish clearly Coach not too happy with the first couple defensive possessions that his players had to start this second quarter, because I mean really 21-29, not a big rush to take a timeout that early in my opinion.
Yeah, just set that straight.
Also, it wasn't a shooting foul, my bad. It was a foul after the shot by Melbourne.
Yeah, they would have liked it to have been a shot. Anyway, they get a three-pointer coming right out of the timeout. Shot again.
You have to love that action out of the timeout by Coach Martinez as well. That was a drawn-up play. They got exactly who they wanted to open, and she took advantage.
Borges, she was tough to handle. Gets the foul going to the line. That picks up the foul as well. So with that, Argentina moves Gagas. And we're going to get a look for the first time at Raviolo, number 6.
Your top scorer with 9 points, Chagas, having to go to the bench because she picked up 2 fouls. I think we're going to see her again before halftime. I think they need her, especially offensively.
But good time to take her out just for a
couple
minute
minutes
or two.
If you can, yeah.
And Borges leading the way for Australia. Doing it with 3-point shooting at the free throw line. How about that drive from Cabrera? And she did everything right there except make the shot. So free throw is coming. The blocking foul called on Sammy Whitcomb.
Borges already 11 points. Had one of her best seasons with Bendigo in the WNBL this season. 23 points a game, 4 assists, 7 rebounds. Was drafted a couple of years ago in the WNBA. Hasn't played in the WNBA yet. I imagine we will see her. And you know, like I said, I mean, this is a player, early 20s, and she already has a bronze medal from the 2024 Paris Olympics. Like that is, there's some bright young players on this Australian team, as well as some very experienced veterans.
Wilson kind of lost it, gets it back, gets it over to Sammy Whitcomb. Sammy Whitcomb gets it out to the corner, and that three-pointer no good. Now Argentina with a chance to run. Fowler missing. Points separate these two teams. Good energy by Argentina. 3-point shot, and it is good once again for Julieta Mongo.
Borges, Mongo also has stepped up big for this Argentina team.
And a nice sharing of the basketball and an easy one for Alana Smith. Argentina, gets up a 3 right off the bench and misses everything. There's Raviolo. Maybe a little reluctant to take that shot initially.
She had to. Shot clock was winding down. I think she shot with 3 seconds left.
Whitcomb to the corner. Nice action from Australia. Wilson misses. Gretter pushes it quickly. Now stops. 3-point shot is good. Another one. And Argentina going nowhere. Macarena Tierzo. Hey, Macarena.
Hey, Macarena. I like it, 31-33, and no surprise, Coach Brondello has to take a timeout. And we'll get to listen in, maybe a little bit over-helping. Got to be able to defend more one-on-one so you don't over-help and give up these 3-point shots.
I love watching Argentina move that basketball. Let's go down to the bench and here's Coach Brondello.
Your switch.
Well, just like Australia putting up some threes, Argentina are as well. So far, 7 of 14.
I mean,
That's even better than Australia.
If you shoot the ball from three-point range like that, you're always going to give yourselves a chance to score. And you mentioned it heading into the timeout. I mean, Argentina just unselfish, sharing the ball, passing the ball, finding their open teammates, and they're scoring their outside shots.
And making Australia work on defense. Wilson drives in, and a blocking foul called. So Greta this time does not get the call to go her way.
I think it wasn't necessarily, I think it was the reach in before. Maybe got a little bit of a hands, not necessarily all in the ball. As Greta was trying to plead her case in front of us to the referee.
So Wilson, who hit a 3 earlier, now makes 2 free throws, and Argentina go back up by 4 points. Mungo's a player they know they got a guard. She's knocked down 3 threes, and good hands by Smith. Greta probes to the corner, wide open. Barani.
Again, over-helping. I can't imagine that Coach Bronzello.
And foul called. Smith goes down hard. Look at this. Kind of left her left leg out, I guess. Got her with her knee.
I think it was an inadvertent trip, which the referee has to do.
So good work from Cabrera, but she goes out. And coming in is Guana back into the game. Sammy Whitcomb from deep. They just have so many players that can shoot it.
This is going to be an exciting tournament if the teams continue to shoot the way that these two teams have.
Here's Greta. Nice bounce pass. Guana gets it up and had the right move. Just didn't finish. Now quickly up the floor to Wilson. Good hands by Greta. Get those hands up on defense, Jonah. Look at her go behind the back. Now she's spinning. Back out it goes. Barani back to Greta. Oh, they get it to the shooter. High arcing 3, but this time Mungo misses. Talbot goes in hard. A whistle. Mungo fouled by Wilson.
Checking back into the game. She's had a nice break on the bench. As he played back on that EuroLeague team, USK Praha, when they won the EuroLeague. Not this past season, not this season, obviously, but last season.
I don't remember that time. Maybe Macarena, but they get it back. Mungo says, I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. Oh, in and out. Australia up 7. Good hands again. Barani getting a hand on that. Smith has it. Shot clock winding down. Good pass out to Magbagor, and Magbagor shows that touch. So we're talking just.
Why you love Ezzy. I mean, she can get it done inside. She can step out. She can take her defender off the dribble from 3-point range as well. She's so talented.
And the shot is good. She looks tough. Macarena.
Hey.
That'll be the popular song request from this tournament. Good hustle by Macarena. Talbot to the corner, good ball movement, Opals, and they end up with a little note. And Magbagor there for the putback. That's how Magbagor gets a lot of rebounds and points.
Putbacks.
Easy variety.
Easy putbacks. Gets the stats, pad the stats at the same time.
Alana Smith saying, I'm doing all the hard work and you get the point and the rebound. Better. Fouled by Magbagor. So biggest lead of the game right now for Australia, up 10. And you just feel the relentless nature of their game.
It's also the substitutions. You know, you have Magbagor come in, scores immediately almost 5 points for Australia. And this is where I think that they're going to tire out Argentina. Yeah, they're up 10. Argentina, I think, are playing very well. But it's hard to go up against a team that's going to have rotation after rotation and have fresh legs.
Well, Shaka's back into the game and misses. Talbot, it's a battle right almost into the hands of Guana, who doesn't get it, and then Talbot takes advantage. A lot of Opal's not quite as sharp with some of their passing today, but got away with one there. Oh, you can't start to make the backdoor cut and then stop because the passer thinks you're going.
Never stop a backdoor cut. You talked about the turnovers by Australia early in this game, which, you know, yeah, it is a little bit uncharacteristic of Australia. You and I have seen Australia play a lot. They have 7 total team turnovers. But how many practices do we think that they actually had before this first game? Very few.
Marvin getting into the lane and fouled.
You know, you're having to fly people in from Australia. You have to fly people in from the U.S., from Europe to join the team. And I bet you they had maybe max 2 full good practices with the entire team.
Magbagor turns. A beautiful pass, Magbagor cutting down the lane. Kayla George. Oh, that was just poetry in motion. Some great passes by the Opals there. And Martinez calls another timeout. Has to be a little disheartening for them, having played so well and finding themselves down 14 points. Let's go down to the bench and listen.
Tenés que cometer errores pelotudos. La pelota entra acá, corte. Venimos acá, la tiramos fuera y le ganamos 2 puntos. Estamos a 6, estamos a 12.
Volvimos, va.
Echa la bola.
Saque tranquila.
Salida de fondo. Saca Buri. Ama. Flor. Perdón, saca la bola. Buri acá. Chagas. Entramos, se tocan, ¿sí? Si no aparece, cuando aparece, si la bola entra acá, córranle adelante. Chagas, si tenés el pase, si te empuja con drible, vení acá y entramos en motion a jugar. Si no jugá, cuerno bajo, ¿sí? Ahora la ponen a ella. O cuerno lado y la ponen a ella, o cuerno con mucho.
Shona, I like the way Argentina are getting after this. I mean, you know, they're playing well.
No, they're playing really good basketball. I just think Australia are tiring them out. I mean, Argentina to come up with 6 steals already. We got to see the statistics during that timeout. Yeah, okay, Australia have their 7 turnovers, but they also have 14 assists, so they're still in the positive with a 2-to-1 ratio as far as assist turnovers go because they are so talented. And so, you know, Argentina, yeah, you can get a couple stops. Can you put 3-4 stops together in a row with a team that's always going to have 5 players out there? Anyone can score. It gets difficult. It gets tiring. I don't know if Argentina have enough in the tank to hold them off for 40 minutes.
Well, there's 5 different players hitting threes as well, Australia. So they're driving and passing it back outside, and there's any number of players that are going to hurt you. The ball goes off of Magbagor's foot. Siciliano gets it over to Chagas. Chagas drives in, gets it up. Shot under pressure. Reed has it, goes all the way and lays it up and in. I think Argentina were looking for her to pass it, and she said, well, I'll just take it myself. Siciliano back outside. Guaya. And Barani with the rebound. Goes off of Reed. 57 seconds to go in the first half. 16-point lead for the Opals. They've opened it up in this latter part of the second quarter. Centineta checks into the game for Argentina, number 13. Also in the game, Martinez. Here's Siciliano. Oh, nice pass. Centineta is fouled, so she will go to the free throw line.
Again, Australia is struggling a little bit on that on-ball defense. There's been a few possessions in the first half where don't know if
fouls on Reed.
Yeah, she had 2 really early in her first substitution, so you know, I think that's something that Australia is going to have to clean up as this tournament goes on. And if they do, you know, want to win this tournament, we know they've already booked their ticket. They qualified for the World Cup, FIBA Basketball World Cup in Berlin this September. But these games are also still important to them. They're also learning experiences, and they have to get better as every game goes on.
Yeah, use this as an opportunity.
Yeah.
And the ball goes off of Magbagor. Barani gets down. Both Argentinians surrounding Magbagor, who is tied up. Australia will maintain possession. Look at that.
Again.
Physical play.
Yeah, great defense by Argentina. Every possession counts.
Siciliano really hounding Melbourne. Look at that. It takes it right away, and now it's going to be Argentina basketball. They're fighters. And coming back into the game now, Greder, as well as Hey Macarena. Dioursu.
Great that she has a song named after her.
5-second differential, game clock and shot clock. So, ideal situation for Argentina is they score right at the end of the shot clock. Greder to the corner. Oh, Macarena gets blocked. She gets it back, puts it up, and gets it to go. Australia have to go quickly. Magbagor gets up a shot from a long way out. She hit the rim. She's had a little bit of smooth to her game, Ezzy, hasn't she? So we're at halftime, and Australia doing great, really, to be leading 49-36 over a battling Argentina.
You know, we're going to take a quick look at the statistics coming up, but it was really the last, 5 minutes of that second quarter that pulled Australia apart. And talk about the three-point shooting. I mean, you're going into half with both teams shooting the three incredibly well. Australia, a lot more rebounds than Argentina. We talked about the assists and the turnovers during that last timeout by Argentina right before the half. And Aimee Chagas had to go to the bench because she picked up 2 fouls. She has 9. Borlase didn't see her much in the second quarter. All those 11 points were in the first. in the first quarter. So Australia they just have so many weapons. And I really wonder if Argentina are going to be able to hold them off for 40 minutes. If I'm going into the locker room right now, 36-49, it feels like the game was a little closer if you watched it and not just tuning in right now. You're saying, oh, well, Australia are really easily going to head to a win. They had to battle for those 49 points.
They really did. They had to work hard. And obviously the perimeter game from Argentina helped them, but it's how they're getting their shots, Argentina, which is so impressive to me. They're working so hard, passing it, players going to the right spots, spreading Australia out. But you know, the same way at this end, Australia doing a good job moving around. Magbagor knocking down the three, but I think a lot to like about the Argentina performance in that first half.
Yeah, a lot of good things to take away from that first half. They're going to have to pick it up a little bit more defensively, even though they do already have the 6 turnovers and they've made things difficult for Australia. They need to figure out either how to score more easily and not rely on only a couple players.
49-36, Australia on top of Argentina at halftime.
This isn't a moment. It's a time unlike any before.
It's not a request, not a maybe, not a someday.
This is now. Feel our presence, built on strength
and drive. Not rising, we are arriving. Not hoping, but owning.
This isn't a moment, it's movement. Constant, relentless.
Every cut, every pass, every shot. Earned. Taken.
Undeniable. The future, it's already here.
Forged in sweat,
Ruled by queens.
When we move, the whole game shifts.
And we're unstoppable in all directions. We own the game.
Anderson was flying down the court. Reverse, reverse. She gets it.
Magbagor, how about that? Nice little play there by the Opals.
Gray off the elbow, this time falling down, has a chance for a three-point play. Did you see that shimmy? A little shimmy on the way down.
Shaking out of it, a little crossover, and nice smooth action on the jump shot.
Nice little turnover here. Defense feeding offense for the Opals. No look pass, Georgia on the block, waiting for it, and it counts. Australia feeling themselves.
Now they're running. And what a fake pass. And then the pass to Lee Uiru. Still lots of time, though, for the USA to score as UNESCO with a deep three-point shot at the buzzer is good. And that's what happens when you shoot a little bit too early at the end of the quarter, folks. They go inside to Garvin. Nice tip pass to Steph Talbot in the corner. And it's good at the buzzer. Steph Talbot. And what a half she has
Vucevic, little pump fake, she drives down, and Thomas rips it from her belly. The kick to Jones. Finish complete.
Well, again, you've got the bigs running the floor like that. Nice leak out by Jones.
Oh, goodness me. Amy here says, get that out of here.
How many times are we going to see this? Baseline. Are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me.
Chicago attacks the closeout. Feed Bruno inside.
Fills it up.
Well, we talked about our top scorer for Australia, Isabel Borlase, and she just has a fantastic stroke.
Oh, yeah, she does. She proved it coming in. I think she went 3 of 4 in her first substitution with Australia. But like I said, I mean, this is a player who's coming off her best WNBL season, the professional league in Australia this past year, averaging around 23 points a game. You have to be talented to average those kind of numbers at her age as well. I mean, she's still in her early 20s. Very big, bright future together with this Australian team and her personally. But then again, I mean, last year Asia Cup averaged 9 points a game, so you know she could score, and she just got given an opportunity and left open. Remember, they went under a few times, and she was just way too left open, in my opinion.
Yeah, Borlase, one of several Aussies to knock down threes today. But you know, some of those some open looks, and she's just knocking down. How about Mungo, one of 2 Australian players with 9 points. Chagas the other, and Julieta Mungo 3 of 6 from deep.
I think, you know, Chagas, you kind of expect after, especially after last summer at the America, what she was capable of doing for this Argentinian team. But Julieta Mungo, you know, played very limited minutes in the Americup last summer. Has been with the team for a few years now compared to Chagas, but both stepping up and getting opportunities. But also, I think that they have had a lot of open looks, and I'm sure halftime, Coach Bronzello and Australia, they're going to be changing something up because they have given Argentina way too many open looks, in my opinion. They had to come and help, and then there's been no back rotation. And then again, Argentina, good job sharing the ball. Sharing is caring. They're finding their open shooters.
I was wondering when I was going to hear that one. Well, Mungo, one of 6 players in the Argentina team that plays professionally in Spain, or plays their club basketball in Spain, I should say. And I'm sure that's been good for her as well to compete in that competition where you had a lot of good players. But, you know, over the 40 minutes, again, I think that they could take a lot of positives from that first half, knowing they're going up against a team that is one of the best teams in the world.
Well, they are. They're going up against the second-ranked team in the world. You know, bronze medalists from the Paris Olympics, bronze medalists from the last FIBA Basketball World Cup, you know, Asia Cup winners last summer. And there's a lot of these players on the Australian team who played on those teams the past few summers. So they're experienced. They have a deep bench. We're seeing it. You know, Coach Bronzello almost played everyone. I think the only one who didn't check into the game was Chloe Bibby. And I do know that Chloe Bibby missed her last couple games with Girona, where she plays on the EuroLeague team. They've qualified for the EuroLeague Final Six. So I think she might be favoring a little bit of an injury, and because I know if Chloe Bibby was healthy, she would have played right now.
Well, you talked about Paris, and I have to be the first to hold my hand up and say, after they lost to Nigeria, it's like, wow, where is Australian basketball right now? You know, we were looking for so long at the dominance of Australia, obviously winning the world title in 2006, always competing, getting to finals, leaving tournaments with medals. And the way they bounced back from that loss to Nigeria, you know, we were talking about this over a cup of Turkish coffee yesterday, and that was impressive. And that, you know, for me, that's a turning point for this Australia program.
Yeah, I agree. I think that loss right there was an opportunity for Australia to fold, which I think some teams have done in the past. Not necessarily Australia, I'm talking about, you know, in general at major tournaments. Or something clicks and they turn a page, and that's exactly what we saw from Australia. But I also think, you know, the games that they needed to win every game moving forward after that, but you saw Kayla George step up and have a big-time game. You saw Mariana Tolo during that, you know, bronze medal run get in, and you just felt the veteran presence, Sammy Whitcomb, and then the young guns sort of just followed their leaders, and rightly so. I mean, you know, they came up with a bronze medal at the Olympics. I think Alana Smith was All-Star 5 easily in those Olympics because of her performance, and it's great seeing her back with Australia. It wasn't there last summer, obviously. She plays in the WNBA, also unrivaled, just coming off the championship with them recently. So this is a talented Australian team, but I agree with you. They could have folded after that loss to Nigeria, and they dug down, and that's what good teams, good players know how to do. I guarantee you they might have had some like team-only meetings after that loss, but whatever was said worked.
Well, here they are huddling up, and you know, you talk about veteran leadership, and successful national team programs are those that have some veterans but are constantly bringing in good young talent and having it mesh. And I think what's one of the good things about the system nowadays is there's so many games that are played in international basketball is that you might not have Alana Smith one summer, but that's okay. That's an opportunity to bring somebody else in.
Yeah.
And you know, it's
that's the beauty now, right? With those windows that FIBA has gone to the last, well, it's been a little while now, but you get to have this rotation, you know, group of 18, 20 players, and so you get to develop them earlier instead of only having one tournament every summer and it be do or die. How do you develop your players? Well, now FIBA and national teams have figured out, you know, a formula that I think is really working for the growth of the international game.
So Argentina, it stands to reason they're going to have to come out and have a good start to this second half if they're going to cut into this 49-36 deficit. That was a big bucket right at the end of the half. You know, could have gone the other way. I think Australia had possession, could have gone up by 18, and ultimately they came down and got it back to a 13-point deficit. And it's, again, it's all about energy, intensity for Argentina, moving, you know, creating some opportunities with their defense, trying to do that. Look at that. Again, scan in the QR code to get Courtside 1891 app in your smartphone. And you can also log in via the web to watch live streams and extended highlights of FIBA competitions. Second half action is underway, and it's Australia who are attacking the basket to the right now. They've got the opening possession, and Alana Smith comes out and is short with that first attempt. Mouse gets it over to Gretter. Back to Chagas. Gets it up. Haven't seen Gretter put up any threes today.
No, you know, if there's anything I could say about Gretter's game is I think she actually needs to be a little bit more selfish for herself. She needs to look to score for her team.
Ooh. That would have made life really difficult for Argentina if Sammy Whitcomb had knocked down that three. Instead, another chance for the South Americans. Bounce pass gets away. Intended for Guana. Borlace leading Australia with 11 points. She's coming off the bench. Magbagor over to Sammy. She's not going to miss this one, surely. No, it rims out. Around and out for Sammy Whitcomb. Hey, Macarena. Oh, and it rims out for her, both teams. Seen it go around.
Yeah, definitely having trouble scoring.
Talbot with some nice handles and gets it to Melbourne, who lays it up. Yeah.
I like the move is putting Jade Melbourne into the starting lineup to start the second half. Especially, you know, dealt with some foul trouble. Maybe get her confidence back, get her rhythm back. Also shows you how deep and talented this bench is.
Macarena loses it. Magbagor gets it back to Melbourne, who goes in and misses with the left hand, but another opportunity for Ezzy to say, I'll get the offensive rebound and put back. Ezzy McBecker is 9 points, 5 rebounds. Magbagor, excuse me, 9 points, 5 rebounds. 2 assists.
2 fouls. It's not perfect. Almost. I love Ezzy. I think Ezzy is so talented, and I don't even think she has reached her top potential yet. Like I said, I mean, she's won Olympic medals. She's won World Cup medals. She has a EuroLeague championship to her name. She's U17 back in U17 World Cup back in 2016 MVP.
Ready to had to rush one up. Oh, nice spin. Nice bucket from Steph Talbot. At some point, though, we're going to have to say Magbagor has reached her potential. It seems like forever we've said.
It seems like forever she's been around, but she's been that talented since she was that young.
Mungo for 3. Mungo continues to pour him in. All 12 points from her coming from deep.
A little miscommunication there by Australia defensively, not knowing if they were switching enough or not.
And Whitcomb has done something to offend the basketball guys. Her balls keep going up and in and out. And that time Argentina not able to connect with each other. Whitcomb gets it, and again another miss for Sammy. Ooh, and Magbagor. I think Martinez looking for a whistle. She was going for the basketball. And Barani takes it. Oh, and Magbagor says not in this house, but they call a foul on the Australia big. Look at this, Barani. Moving dangerously.
I think Barani, veteran move there, sort of took that off arm of Magbagor, and that's maybe what the referee saw. But either way, she's going to go to the line for 2. I talked about Gretter and Barani. You know, the first time Barani played on the senior team for Argentina was back at the 2019 when it was called the FIBA America's Championships, remember? And talking about that, I mean, Kayla George and her experience as well. She played when it was the Oceania Championships. So not trying to age these players, but you know, you and I talked before the game, you have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah,
and that is them
themselves.
taking care of their bodies to be able to compete at this level for so long.
A lot of sacrifice, but it pays off. Career longevity, something to be saluted, really. Here is Talbot. And tries to make the pass. It goes out of bounds off of Argentina.
Not going to use a timeout. 3.4 seconds.
That was Mungo that swiped it out of bounds. And, oh, a little alley-oop action and on the inbounds to Magbagor. Redder splits the defense, tries to get it to her teammate, and she is tied up. Reed coming back into the game with 3 fouls. They stay at this end. Jade Melvin goes out. Good job, Australia. Not reaching. Martinez back in. Redder puts it up. Nice touch for number 11.
This is where I really think she needs to be more selfish. She's given up those kind of shots in the first half. Her team needs her to score right now. And win or lose, you don't want to lose by
good hands.
a lot of points.
Redder calling the play. Mungo to Barani. Might Barani go at Talbot? And she does, and a foul is called on Talbot.
Yeah, it was good job there by Greta realizing that Barani had the mismatch on Steph Talbot.
Greta's going to sit down for a minute. I can't imagine that she would stay out too long. Siciliano in the game, along with Martinez. And those Argentina guards are feisty. I mean, they are getting after it. And how many turnovers have they forced by just getting their hands up on defense?
Oh, how many, deflections, turnovers. Even if they haven't come up with the ball, they've deflected a lot of the passes of Australia.
Barani does a great job showing some leadership. Gets to the line, makes both free throws. Now she'll sit down. The lead back to 12. It's Argentina winning the second half so far, 9-8. Argentina back in the game. Ayacuso. Here's Borles. And Borles, great job absorbing the contact, getting to the free throw line. It just feels like every single time she has the basketball, something good is going to happen.
Yeah, something happens.
Borles makes both here in the Turkcell Basketball Development Center. Fantastic facility for this competition. It's going to be rocking when Türkiye play their game tonight, that's for sure.
Chloe Vivian's in the game, Jeff, and I kind of mentioned maybe she's a little injured as she comes up, Texting comes up with a steal for Australia.
Siciliano turned that over. Cabrera looks like she was called for a hold. No, Siciliano, in fact. Getting tangled up with Kayla George. It's happened a few times in Kayla's career. Definitely gets tangled. Cabrera. Really getting out on top of Ayacuso. Martinez this time with the foul. You can see on the replay, getting right up on her.
Yeah, help. You know, this is the second the bench players for Argentina, and they need to come in, they need to be aggressive. They've had fouls to give, as you know, the starters getting a little bit of a break, and there you just see
Shentinetta
yanking
Kayla George.
Let's take a look here. Kayla George knows exactly how to hook her with her right arm as well, and that's just a complete veteran.
And Borlase is fouled. Oh, and one.
Well, you said every time Borlase is on the court, touches the ball, something good happens. And, you know, right now this is her game. Tomorrow it might be someone else who's on her team, but she also realizes, you know what, take advantage. I know how to score. I'm a scorer. And she is doing that here today against Argentina.
Fouls. This is a very frustrating trip down the court for Argentina. This is a newsflash. Borlase missed the free throw. The 16-point lead. Argentina's still in it, looking for a way into the basket. Here's Mungo. She's been very hot. She's going to drive in with the left hand and fouled by Kayla George. Kind of nudged her with her left arm, left hand.
Also on the swing, he's got a little bit of a face. I was talking to Kayla George before the game, and talk about longevity. You know, I know that she's received a bunch of awards for what she has done in the WNBL, the professional league in Australia. She has played the second most games ever in the WNBL. #1 in rebounds, top 2 in scoring or something like that. She's basically top 10 in every single statistical category in the WNBL, and she's still playing. She's like, oh yeah, and I'm heading to China after this. Well, good for you.
Good pass, there she is, Bibby. First launch for her. And goes off of Argentina. Nope. And the referees get their heads together and give the basketball to Argentina, who was initially going to give it to Australia. See the ball kicked there. Watch again. Oh, wow. I think that should have been Australia basketball.
They weren't really complaining, though, and obviously you have a coach's challenge, so. Shot clock down to 2. She's got to launch it. Does she know? They got to get it up. And did not get it up in time. So Kayla and Bibby go out. I remember Britta Joyce was coaching Australia when Kayla George came into the frame. She had that kind of breakout tournament in 2014 in Türkiye. The World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to believe it's 11 years ago. 12 years ago, yeah, we're in 2026. What am I talking about? Reed.
It's not as though she's had taken summers off, you know?
Uh-oh. Tuso passes it back outside to Fowler. Here's Bibby. Bibby stayed in the game. It's a good thing she did. Buries it. Sweet drive. Nice bucket for Tagas. No, Australia will be at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Berlin. Oh, nice pass. Bibby
unselfish passing by Australia. Ayacuso knowing exactly one of her teammates was going to be cutting.
Oh, almost travel. Mungo this time just off a little bit. And so Argentina are not qualified. They know they've got to win their way here at this tournament. That's what this is all about. But Australia happy to be playing these games. Definitely. Fowler missing. And maybe another break there for Argentina to get the basketball.
And you know, it's so vital to play these games for a country like Australia as well. You have your head coach who coaches in the WNBA. You have what? 4 or 5 players, maybe more. Who knows who's going to go over to the WNBA or get signed in the WNBA this season. So you're limited with how many training camps you can have heading up to the FIBA Basketball World Cup in September, and this is that opportunity to practice now.
Absolutely. Oh, nowhere to go. Turning it over again, Chagas. Reed, nice handoff to Fowler, and the whistle blows. Free throws for number 23. What would you think? Maybe the majority of this Australia team being at the World Cup?
Absolutely. I don't think there's a lot of people left off the list. You know, yeah, maybe you could say Soa had a great season this year in the WNBL, but you know, those who weren't on the 2025 Asia Cup gold medal team are, you know, it was an Atlanta Smith who you expect to be on the World Cup team. It was, you know, a Steph Talbot who had a great Olympics in 2024, has been around for a long time as well. You know, they're players that you kind of expect to be there. So maybe, I'm sure Australia, with all the talent that they have, we might be missing someone, and maybe someone will let us know.
Oh, nice turnaround bucket for Raviolo. Saying that name kind of makes me a little hungry.
You know, maybe a player like Chloe Bibby, who just shot, has come in, didn't play in the first half. Maybe, you know, she's someone who can make her first big international tournament for Australia. But this is an opportunity for Coach Brondello to see what Bibby can do. And she didn't play in the first half. I think she's been great since she's been out here in the second. But she might be someone who's maybe on the limit for that team in September. But again, you're not going to have a tryout count heading into the World Cup because there's no time.
And you could always have an injury or something where you need to pick somebody else.
Yeah.
So Argentina down 15, final seconds ticking off the clock here in this third quarter. Gretter, Barani open. Quickly Australia. Reed, zigzagging her way down, gets it up. And in the end, Australia outscore Argentina 17-15. In that third quarter, they lead at 66-51.
Well, you know, since midway through the second quarter, it's kind of been all Australia. Both teams cooling off a little bit from three-point range. No surprise. I really think it was the defensive intensity, you know, heading into this third quarter. Points off of turnovers benefited Argentina. And then, you know, after 10 minutes of play, Australia right back up there, pushing the limit to Argentina. They came up with some turnovers, got some easy baskets because of it. And again, you know, players that we haven't really seen play, Chloe Bibby getting an opportunity, already scoring 4 points for Australia in her limited playing time. And they just have such a stronger bench, especially offensively. And 66 points, you know, that's a lot of points when we still have 10 more minutes of basketball to play. So defensively, I think Argentina need to come up with, they need to figure something out, because you do not want this score to balloon like you and I talked about in the first quarter, because this is the group of death. I really would not be surprised if there's some tiebreakers and maybe it has to go to points for and against who gets that ticket to the World Cup in Berlin.
They're going to be playing in an emotionally charged environment tomorrow against Türkiye. And after that, have a day off, then Canada.
And don't forget that Canada team, I mean, it's the team that beat them last summer for a bronze medal at the FIBA America on a last-second layup by Silas Wards, who's not here with the Canadian team because of her NCAA University of Michigan commitment. So there's a lot of rivalries in this group of death, and we'll talk about it as it goes on, because also, you know, the Olympics qualification tournament that was in Hungary, we had Hungary, Japan, Canada. So a lot to talk about as the tournament goes on.
Shona Thorburn and Kim Gaucher still in that Canada team.
Working for FIBA now.
Zagas. Well, is not over. And again, you talked about the importance of points differential, goal differential, but also mentality. And I think it's important for Argentina to consolidate where they are, try to get closer and build some confidence at bare minimum.
I think they've played very, very well.
Yeah.
I'm more than impressed with them. I know
Absolutely.
they still have 10 minutes left to play, but I am more than impressed with them, and they look comfortable and know who they are.
That's a great observation, and here comes pass over to the bench of Argentina. A little bit of miscommunication there. That is the 9th turnover of the day for, no, the 10th, sorry, both teams with 10 turnovers. Can Argentina make some headway here? Gretter pulls up and knocks it down, and as time is of the essence, perhaps.
She's the player who you expect to step up. She's such a facilitator offensively.
A second consecutive turnover. And, you know, you talk about maybe a little bit of lack of practice time, and I think it's been evident in those last 2 turnovers for Australia. You saw Sandy Bartella shaking her head over there on the bench. Look at Gretter, get it up the floor quickly. They got to go quickly. Mungo, she wanted to launch it. Great job. They still get a 3 attempt, and they get it this time from Chagas. And Argentina have stormed back into it, now trailing by just 10 points.
I mean, Coach Brandalo having to take a timeout. You know, she went with a different starting 5 for the 4th quarter that finished that didn't finish the 3rd quarter, and I don't know if they're a little lackadaisical, but Argentina, we said it, they've played well already, still had 10 more minutes, and they've done a great job to start the 4th quarter.
And what if you are, say, those other teams that are competing with Argentina for one of those World Cup qualifying spots? Do you want Australia to win this game? I'm assuming so.
Oh yeah, of course you want Australia
You're
to
like,
win.
hey, it's not going to be easy for us to beat Australia.
Yeah.
So they can't beat Australia.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, we might have some problems.
If you're watching this tournament, and I'm looking around the gym right now, and I see a lot of coaches from other countries here scouting this game and biting their nails a little bit, because you want Australia to win, you want them to finish first, and then the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place teams will get that ticket to the FIBA Basketball World Cup in Berlin in September. But I don't know how many times Australia is going to lose in this group. If Argentina can upset them, it is going to be a big, big step in the right direction and a ticket.
Or as they say, boleto. That is what they're going after. Alana Smith inbounds it to Wilson. Australia have, you know, maybe a little bit unlucky. Some shots have gone in and gone out, but you can say the same thing about Argentina, to be honest. Kayla George left open, puts up a 3, and Sammy Whitcomb in there able to sneak that rebound. Now Wilson gets it up, and she knocks down a 3, her first since the 1st quarter. I like Wilson's demeanor. She's just kept getting after it today. Here goes Gretter. Chagas for 3. And Kayla George brings it down. Kayla George and Cabrera. Watch the finish here. Kayla George gets it. Now watch Kayla George. Kind of shoves her off and then gives her the dirty stare.
You know, when you've been playing as long as Kayla has, you're allowed to do that.
Yep. There she is, tangling it up, and Barani called for the foul. Kayla's like, I'm not getting any respect for the amount of mileage I've got in this game. Look at what they're doing to me. All over.
I think it was that left arm of Barani where she was just kind of hugging her. Easy call by the referee.
Another pass, though, intercepted. Going right into the hands. Gretter cuts back to the middle. Beautiful pass. Barani. Argentina at times have put on a clinic today passing the basketball. Good pass over, and a three-point shot is good. That's a perfect example. Mungo has been marvelous.
Been the surprise, bright spot.
To a 10-point game. Alana Smith has it knocked away. Gretter takes it, crosses midcourt. Skip pass to Mungo, open three. Chaga's got it! She knocks it down! Argentina, once again. Their 10th three-pointer of the game. It's a 7-point lead for the Opals. Ball knocked away, great play by Chagas, but not able to come up with it. Now Sammy Wickham has it. The Argentinians scrap away, they get it to Alana Smith, and she misses the layup.
I do think,
Mungo open and overshoots it this time.
I do think Australia has so much more experience in big-time games compared to this Argentinian team. So, yeah, it's difficult now. There's still a lot of basketball to be played, and we're not going to see them get nervous.
We're not, but some of the turnovers perhaps have been a little troubling. And again, it gets back to maybe they haven't had enough time together to get ready, and they'll get better in this aspect of the game. But, missing some layups, and they need to clean some of this stuff up. Tough assignment for Mungo. She switches. Now, bounce pass to Alana Smith. Out to Whitcomb for three. Just will not drop for her. Magbagor with the rebound. Now Alana Smith again. Melbourne for three. Yes! Jade. Perfect name for a player that plays for the Opals. Yes. He goes back to 10, 6 minutes remaining. Argentina certainly playing, I think we agree, much better than we anticipated. Nice looping and scooping from Gretter. And she's like a pinball sometimes. Gretter just getting in there, bouncing off people. Watch this, spinning, diving in.
I think that's a good call by the referee.
It's on Magbagor.
Yeah, Magbagor. A lot of.
Still, it's a 10-point lead. It's a long way back from how far they trailed, but they've done exceptionally well to stay in this game. Chagas, nice pass. And Cabrera turns, made that maybe a little bit harder than it needed to be. Talbot, nice give and go, and that's the way you do it. Alana Smith.
Lead back up to double digits now, and this is what I meant, nice little run by Argentina, but Australia, no worry.
Chagas, though, for three, she doesn't have it. I thought she was going to knock it down, and Whitcomb up to Talbot. Australia, as we get to the midpoint of this fourth quarter, close to winning time. Ooh, dangerous pass, and Cabrera with the push on Magbagor. This is easily one of the talking points of the day. And again, it's Australia that's winning, but Argentina revealing themselves to be a real, reconfirming that they're still the same Argentina in terms of that battling mentality, but they got some players.
Yeah.
And you would think that they would only get better as the tournament goes on. And McBagor, nice alley-oop pass. Second time she scored with that. Once on the inbounds. Like Barani might have knocked over her teammate inadvertently, accidentally. And they get a three, and this time it doesn't go for Talbot. Good hustle through the basketball, Greder, and the reach, and the foul called on Melbourne. Melbourne's always reacting like that, isn't she?
She's always kind of surprised, but I think it's just she plays at 110%. She's just a motor, right? And I think she's strong, maybe stronger than she thinks she is.
Would you say she also has the perfect name for an Australian player? Melbourne?
Jane.
Wow. Oh, that's right. It's the same player. What am I talking about?
Argentina timeout, and we don't mic up the coaches during the fourth quarter, so we have to read lips. And right now he's got his back to us, but Australia still with a sizable, considerable rebounding advantage and assists. It feels kind of like Argentina they're squeezing out everything they can get out of this team. Feels like, from the size standpoint, talent, it's just excellent the way they've moved without the basketball.
I mean, win or loss right now. Hey, we've seen Argentina go on runs in this game. There's still 4:38 left to play. Anything could happen, but win or lose, I think they have to feel good about their performance against the number 2 team in the world. Okay, so you're looking ahead. You're saying that they're playing Türkiye tomorrow. That'll be difficult because I imagine it's going to be a sold-out crowd as well.
Well, I think if you're a player, you want that, don't you?
Yeah, you're going up against a rivalry in Canada,
Oh.
Like this, Hungary, I'm sure they're looking at saying, you know what, we can get that one as well. And I'm sure every team thinks like this, but Argentina, after their performance today, should have more confidence than they did coming into this game.
Well, it could be that Argentina were confident coming into this game. It's just that we weren't confident. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's what it is, yeah.
Because they have played like they belong.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think there have been some times over the years when it felt like Argentina maybe didn't belong. And they definitely belong right now. This is a battling team. Chagas has been good. Barani. Greder out of the game right now. And a three-point shot from Guana. They follow the basketball. Australia have it with 4 minutes and change left in the game. Talbot again, twisting shot. Maybe looking for a foul, doesn't get it. Oh, nice pass down low to Barani. Excellent work. He just makes smart plays.
You can also tell that this group of Argentinian basketball players, they've played a lot of games together. You have the veterans, but you also have a lot of players on this team who, actually, I think all of them, except for maybe Raviolo, if I'm not mistaken, played at the AmeriCup last summer. So you have 11 players coming back who played with each other at least one major tournament in the past.
A Fowler turnover is the 13th of the game for Australia. Again, another play, another drive in. This time, look at the hustle from Guana. And fouled as she was being boxed out, but the referee, I think, says a little too much boxing out there by Sammy Whitcomb. If that's possible. Look at this.
Yeah, it's the, kind of bending over and putting the backside into the player by Sammy Whitcomb that, the referees. I do, and then Sammy Whitcomb's going to say, but she was over my back, and that forced me to get into that position, so it's kind of a tough call.
Yeah, I mean, they were also locked up with their arms. Barani out. Good day at the office for her. Martinez in the game. Clock is starting to become the enemy. They got to get the shots up, and Quanta goes for Magbagor, hits it, but it goes to Argentina. Siciliano thought about it, and the kick called on Kayla George. She must really enjoy it. But it doesn't always look that way. It's kind of a worried look. She wants her team to play a little sharper, maybe. Siciliano. Oh, that's she had a foot on the line. And make sure you're behind the line when you shoot those.
One of the hardest shots in basketball, and it's only worth 2 points with the foot on the line, but ends up missing it anyway.
And great defense, another turnover, but it's Chagas that saw the pass coming, and the foul called on Borlase. Fourth team foul in Australia, so no free throws, but still some basketball to play here. Feels like Australia has done what they need to do, but you know, a couple of turnovers here at the end, just keeping that door open a little bit for Argentina. And that's a moving screen.
Yeah, if we do have tiebreakers, multiple tiebreakers, a loss to Australia could really benefit Argentina, depending on what happens, obviously, as the tournament moves on. And it's more than just that, in my opinion. I think the confidence that Argentina should have heading into their game tomorrow and the rest of the games in this tournament has to be high right now.
Melbourne for three. She's got another one. Nice, calm, composed. And, you know, if Australia want to win, want to get to the podium, they want to win the World Cup, they need to get better. That's the reality, and they will get better, I think, at this tournament. But that was a good look from Jade Melbourne.
This Australian team, don't forget, they were missing 5 players last summer. Of these 12 players, only 7 of them played at the FIBA Asia Cup, which they won gold on. So, you know, I think it's, and we know at that tournament, it was the first tournament for a few of these Australians. You know, Alex Fowler, for example, Ali Wilson, Chloe Bibby. So I'm not surprised that it's taking them a little bit of a while to find the cohesion with kind of, you know, the superstars who have been around a little bit longer.
Well, I guess the coach doesn't need to say it, but he probably is. It's like, listen, we've been good in this game, really good, and let's finish this thing strong and keep this as close as possible. Mongo out of the game right now. Chagas in. Goes off her hands and out of bounds. Trying to make a move where she had the basketball. So into the game for the first time for Argentina. Delfina Saravia.
You know, we have 2 minutes remaining. Yeah, I think Coach Martinez from Argentina has also made that decision to say, you know what, we got a game tomorrow. Quick recovery.
Oh, nice. Taylor George with the assist.
Great pass, nice finish by Borlase.
No malaise from Borlase. She's got 15 points. She and Magbagor each leading the way for Australia. And good reach from Melbourne, forcing the turnover. And unsportsmanlike foul now called on Flor Martinez, grabbing.
Not sure.
That's a good call. She wasn't playing the ball. Watch this.
No, yeah.
to here, and she's just, yeah.
Yeah. It's also, it wasn't aggressive, but it could be a dangerous move depending on how fast McGregor, you know, was getting up and going. So I think that was an unnecessary foul for Martinez. I'm not sure if she was upset that a foul wasn't called on her penetration and then the turnover, but.
So McGregor, 2 more free throws for her. And she now has a game, she has 16 points, but Borlase has a game high 17, well, a team high 17. Mongo and Chagas each with 17 for Argentina. And McGregor only makes 1 of the 2. Kuso comes back into the game. Kuso spins, turns, and bodies hanging all over, and they do call the foul. Chance for a 3-point play.
Well, it was a 7-point game here in the 4th quarter, Jeff. And then, you know, you had that run by Argentina, and you saw on the Australian faces that they were not stressing. They were not worried. They have been in this situation before. Coach Bronzello calls a timeout, makes a couple substitutions, and they're at the biggest lead that they have had all game long.
Well, it is certainly going to look, I think, a lot more comfortable of a win than maybe it was, but definitely Australia convincing-ish, despite the great effort by Argentina in the end. And look at that, Borlase again. She's going to finish with a really good number today. She's got 19 points, and she's not done. Borlase averaging more than a point per minute. She's got 19 points in 15 minutes and 53 seconds. She is a scoring machine.
Good day at the office for the youngin, as there we see the shooting percentages, free throw percentages, more or less even. Australia been to the line 6 more times though than Argentina. 3-point shooting, I mean, they were hot, both teams in the first half. It has cooled off here in the second half though.
It's going to be interesting to see who can challenge the USA at the World Cup. You know, Belgium will be there. They played very well today.
Belgium.
Winning in China. Who else do you think?
I mean, you know, Australia, I think if they can not start as slow and have extended lapses during the games, you know, turnovers were an issue for them, which is kind of uncharacteristic, I think, but I do think with Australia's size, they could challenge the U.S. at the World Cup. And then we're going to have to wait and see, really, who qualifies.
Well, France could.
France hasn't qualified yet.
Yeah, if they qualify. But if they, and I think they will, and you know that if you get France's best shot, they can be good. You know that, I mean, there's some really good teams out there. Spain, Spain, for all intents and purposes, should have been the Eurobasket winners last summer. You know, that late implosion against Belgium. So they've got a good team.
Oh, great action. Dash is a little bit off the mark, though.
Pass it back outside. Siciliano gets it up high. Arcing 3 doesn't fall. And again, another box out foul called on this one on Borlase. Look at this. Box out. She got her arm around her. I don't understand.
Yeah, you know, she went up for a rebound with one hand, and the other hand, she was holding her the
opponent,
offensive rebounder, I guess you could say, with the other, and that's what the referees saw.
16-20. That's good from Australia. 12-15 for Argentina as well. That's good for them. So we're in the final 40 seconds of this opening game in this FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament. Reed gets up a three, knocks it down, and the lead now has ballooned to 25 points. And that ball goes off of Kayla George's hands. Argentina very well organized here. Even they got some of the players that haven't played much coming off the bench. Quintanilla. Oh, nice little second step, but finish not there. And that's just an unnecessary grab by Iguana. It's going to mean free throws for Australia.
Kayla was going to make sure that the referees didn't miss that one.
Kayla wants some more points.
Not sure she's too worried about her points this stage in her career. I think she knows, she knows her role and she knows her value and what this team needs, and it's a veteran. And if you watch Kayla, she's the first person up on the bench. She's, warming up at halftime. She's the one there checking her teammates' hands, talking to them in the huddles, and that's her role now. And she knows it, she accepts it, and I think she's doing a great job in it.
I mean, if you told me that we were watching Kayla George in 2014, I would not be able to tell the difference, to be honest. I mean, really. Same look.
Couple more tattoos.
That's it. And that's it for the game. The miss, and Australia, they certainly had a battle on their hands for much of this game, but the class and the depth told at the end. 91 to 65, Australia win it over Argentina. Talk us through these shooting sets.
I mean, Australia 70% from two-point range. Way too easy for them to score at will. Three-point shooting, I think, was very respectable. Both teams starting very hot the first 20 minutes. Argentina did a good job rebounding in the second half as Australia had a big advantage. We talked about the turnovers, and Australia struggled with turnovers, especially early in the game. But I think Argentina has a lot of bright spots heading into their next game. Mungo, one of them, 17 points for her. It's the best game I have seen her play for Argentina. And obviously Isabel Borlase, finishing with 19 points. And like you said, she has more points than minutes. So that is how deep this Australian team is. Coach Bronzello able to go to her bench and play 12 people deep. And it just shows you, in a tournament like this where you have 5 games in 7 days, it's very important that you use your bench and you have other people step up. I imagine Borlase, today was her game. Next game, someone else from Australia is going to step up. That is how talented they are. Argentina, on the other hand, I think you have to feel very confident after this game because you really pushed Australia to the limit. If you're only looking at the box score, you didn't really pay attention, you'll think it was an easy game for Australia. It wasn't. They challenged them. They fought hard. And I think they made a statement in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a 7-point game with, about 7 minutes remaining or so? Or?
Yep.
So they just kind of ran out of steam at the end. And full credit to Australia for staying on top of them. And again, it's the first game, and Ezzy McBagor getting player of the game, so richly deserved. Could have been
Borlase.
Could have been Borlase. But anybody could have got that as a team award. Chagas doing some damage from deep, and it was at that point where you felt like, well, maybe this could get interesting down the end. But that was a big shot from Alex, and then you had Mungo again keeping the flame burning for Argentina, and then Chagas again. Boy, this set off some celebrations. They thought they were coming back at this point.
Yeah, they did. But Australia, like I said, just with their experience, veterans, they didn't freak out. I think Argentina got a little bit too excited. Australia, they've been in this position so many times throughout the years, and you know, they knew stay the course, figure it out. Coach Brondello, couple substitutions, and Australia end up having their biggest lead and winning by almost 30.
Well, here's a telling stat for you, Shona. 36 points in the paint for Australia, 12 for Argentina. You can chew on that one, but a lot more action coming your way, including 2 today. So here are the standings. Australia, by virtue of the win, go top. Argentina with participation point, currently in second. Of course, that will change. Canada, Japan, and Turkey and Hungary also going to be in action today. Next up, Japan against Hungary, followed by your country, Canada, going up against Turkey. So, qualified to the World Cup already. We know that Australia are going to be there, USA are going to be there, Belgium are going to be there, Germany and Nigeria. Who else is going to crash the party? The 16-team party. And that's what we're here for at these World Cup qualifiers. Thanks for watching, everybody.